It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. My friends, I am excited for this one. It's a Thursday, but it's not a throwback Thursday. I'm doing a new reaction, and I'm getting back to music by the Grateful Dead for the first time in quite a while. We have previously listened to Terrapin Station on the channel. That was in episode 268. We've also listened to Morning Dew, and that was episode 414. Both of those songs come from the band's 70s era, and I have very much enjoyed it, but the band has a lot more to get to, and many of the Grateful Dead fans have written into me and said, you got to get to their most known radio hit, Doug. It's Touch of Grey, and so that's the one that I'm up to today, and I'm happy that you're with me. Touch of Grey, the song, was released in 1987 as a single. It was also the lead track from their 12th studio album called In the Dark. The thing is, friends, as I read in, the song had been in their live repertoire for their concerts for about 5 years before making it onto the album. Of course, the band is known for their live performances, and according to what I read in on here, they would often first introduce and perform songs in their concerts instead of first introducing new songs on their albums, right? It's a little bit of a different way of an approach, and I think that's really cool. They made it an official video for this one, which was quite popular on MTV at the time. I haven't seen that one, y'all. It features the band members performing as life-size skeleton marionettes, which I think is a pretty fun thing, especially with the name of the band. It kind of ties together, right? And I almost picked doing that official video, but I'm going to go with the album cut because it's about a minute and a half longer than the version that appears in that video. So we're going to listen to the full version here. We got Jerry Garcia on lead vocals and lead guitar. He is also the composer of the song. Bob Weir is on rhythm guitar and backing vocals. Phil Lesh is on the bass. Brent Midland is on the organ, the synth, and backing vocals. Bill Kreutzmann is on drums and percussion, and so is Mickey Hart on drums and percussion. 2 drummers. Interesting. The other person that I want to mention is Robert Hunter, the longtime collaborator of the band, and he is the lyricist for this particular tune. He wrote several, or I should say many, from what I've read in, set of lyrics for Grateful Dead songs over the years, and he was actually inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a non-performing member of the band, and that's a pretty special thing, if you ask me. So let's get to it, y'all. Touch of Grey from the Grateful Dead. Off we go. Right. Sounds familiar, so I haven't been able to completely avoid this one. Sounds a little bit like the Dire Straits.
Must be getting early. Clocks are running late. Paint by number morning sky. Looks so phony. Dawn is breaking.
Just like the general vibe of this one, you know? It's an upper type of piece. It's really bright because it's in sharps. There's the 4 chord, 5, 1, 4. So they're in B major, y'all. 5 sharps. Yeah, that little motive, ba-da-da-dee-da-dum, is like the one thing that I remember from this piece. Gotta get my shaker out. Again with the guys. Every silver lining's got a touch of gray. Great line. I remember that one too. It's all coming back to me. What is that? 5 of 5 to 5. That's cool.
The ABCs,
The ABCs we all must face to try to keep a little grace.
try to keep a little grace.
All right, guitar solo. Kind of folk rock, but you can't help being you can't be in a bad mood and listen to this, right? It's just so buoyant. You're just going through a full progression.
It's a lesson to me.
And they're going back to another bridge. So a bridge to a solo, then another bridge.
In the free.
Cool.
The ABCs, we all think of and try to live.
7 to 4. 5.
I know the rent is in arrears.
No, the
Dog's
branches.
not been fed
Verse
in
3.
years. It's even worse than it appears, but
Worse than it appears.
it's alright.
It's all right. Okay.
Cows giving kerosene. Kid can't read at 17.
So they're going through all the bad shit that's going on in your life,
It's alright.
but we're saying it's going to be okay, y'all.
I will get by. I will get by. I will get
It's
by.
F
I will
sharp,
survive.
E, the 4 chord.
The shoe is on the hand it fits.
Huh.
There's really nothing
Don't know it well enough yet.
Whistle through your teeth and spit, 'cause it's alright. Oh well, a touch of
gray kind of suits you anyway. And that was all I had to say.
It's alright.
Love the little organ in the background.
We'll get by. I will get by.
So F sharp to B, then A, F sharp,
Survive.
down to the 4, to the 5.
We will get by.
Okay, into the outro. And I noticed this as I read in. Now it's we will get by. It's the first time that's happened in the entire piece, is in the outro. We will survive. It's not just about me. It's funny how a song, you hear it, and it had to have been 25, 30 years ago, you know, but you hear it on the radio, and these little motives, the yada bum bum bum, sticks in my head, right? And it's like, I don't remember that one or much about it, but you start experiencing the song again, and it comes back to you. Oh yeah, that's how they did that. It's the mark of a really great motive and a really lovely and well constructed piece of music. You know, it's got these melodic hooks that stay with us, right? So let's talk about the song a little bit. It's like I said, it's a great song for helping improve somebody's mood. I mean, I'm gonna look back at some of the verses. In verse 3, the shit is hitting the fan, y'all. It says, I know the rent is in arrears. The dog has not been fed in years. It's even worse than it appears. But it's all right. The cow is given kerosene. The kid can't read at 17. The words he knows are all obscene. But it's going to be okay. It's all right. It's a lyric that I think time and again names these situations and these circumstances that put us and the actions that we choose to do, seemingly at odds with others. If I go back to verse 1, the rising sun that he sees says it's time to get up, but I'm going to light a candle, I'm going to curse the glare, and I'm going to draw the curtains. I'm going to do the opposite of what I'm expected to do, and it's going to be okay. You know, in verse 2, you're in an argument with someone, and instead of fighting back, you let them say their piece, and then you offer words of wisdom instead of anger and resentment. You know, that you go the different route than maybe what is expected of you. Verse 3, like I said, it names some of those immediate and pressing problems that we might have. Verse 4, though, it starts to offer some comfort amidst all of these issues. And, you know, it realizes that we all have issues, right? We all have the stuff that we're working through, and that a quote-unquote touch of gray can suit us all. It's meaning that it's moderation, right? Don't get too high, don't get too low. Just do your thing, and it's gonna be okay, folks. And then, like I said, I want to finish with this. I think the nuance in that outro, as it's now "we will get by" instead of "I will get by." I think I was drawn to that because it broadens the perspective of the song, and it helps us realize that even amid our issues, our personal issues, even if they're intense, we can realize and understand that our friends and our neighbors, those around us, are dealing with similar emotions and feelings and circumstances, and it helps us to feel as though we are not alone in our circumstances and in our experiences, and that we're part of a group, and that we somehow belong to a community, even though we didn't realize that we did. And I think that's one of the magical things about a band like the Grateful Dead, especially with the way that they do their live concerts. They're like a family. This summer we see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour and all of the just hoopla over that, but at the center of it is an immense community of like-minded people who gather and have strength by being by being a Swiftie, right? Well, there's people that have the same experience for decades being a Deadhead, and they're part of something bigger than themselves. And as a band, it seems like they're a little bit about sacrificing a bit of your own ego and self-centered view of the world, and then embracing this power of community and embracing your own personal growth amid the support of other people that are invested in what you are invested in. It's quite powerful, y'all. It's a little song. It's a little bright song that's just designed to help, I think, alleviate some fears and help us to get into a better mood. But there's something underneath it all that just sort of brings it all together. And it's an amazing thing from this band. It's a band that I don't know a lot of their repertoire. I have heard of them. My brother is a big fan of the Grateful Dead. He has been for years. I haven't listened to a lot of their back catalog, and so I'm just kind of getting started in with them. But I think I've figured out sort of what their magical quality is, and it makes me want to keep listening. But that's all for today, friends, and it was good to get to another classic Grateful Dead song, Touch of Grey. This has been fun. Thanks, friends. We'll see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.